Well, thanks for staying with us. This is still the AM show, sponsored by Waylead Properties, and we'll get into our big stories in a bit. But before we get there, are you thinking of a rewarding investment you can engage in? Waylead Company Limited is your preferred choice for such investment. Waylead Company Limited is a real estate company with several developments to its credit here in Accra. You want to invest in our development Willow Lane, where elegance will meet tranquility in the heart of Accra. And we provide quality housing at an affordable cost and also with a flexible payment option. At Waylead Properties, we provide you 24-hour security, reliable power supply, and other social amenities to make your stay a memorable one. Give us a call now on 0240 111 119 or 0504 499 999. You can also visit www.waylead.org for more information.
Well, it's today. What is today? I'm talking about the Ghana Chamber of Shipping presenting the Alhaj Asuma Banda Memorial Forum under the theme Banda's Legacy and Impact on the Shipping Industry. Panelists include Dr. Kofi Mbia, Dr. Chimanda Vasnani, Mohammed Samara, Captain Aaron Turkson, Jamilat Mahama, Stanley Raja Holu, Michael Luguje, and other players in the shipping industry in Ghana. It's slated for this morning from 10 a.m. to noon, and it's a live broadcast on JoyNews. You would want to stick and stay for that. But for now, we're having a conversation on water activities around water production sites and how there is cost and production impact. Our Upper West Regional Manager of the Ghana Water Limited, Michael Kwesi Klucha, says sand winning around the Black Volta is affecting the quality and cost of water production. Meanwhile, in the central region, the Ghana Water Company Limited says the refusal of consumers to pay their bills is affecting smooth operations. Well, for now, we have a conversation coming up, but before that, let's take a look at some of these issues and what exactly has been happening.
Ghana Water Limited is raising concerns over increasing human activities threatening the Densu River, which supplies water to the Wager Dam. Activities like sand winning and poor farming practices are polluting the river and putting water supply at risk.
We hear of illegal mining, galamsey, almost daily in Ghana, and so one is tempted to think that that is about the only challenge plaguing our water bodies. We would like to highlight that apart from galamsey, there are other human activities equally harmful to our freshwater bodies. The Densu River, which houses the Wager Dam to enable us and abstract water for treatment, is one of the rivers in Ghana that suffers this serious pollution from other human activities aside galamsey.
He also warned that Ghana loses 51% of treated water due to leaks, burst pipes, and illegal connections, worsening supply challenges.
We are losing water through leakages, pipe bursts, and also through illegal use of the water. And so around 51% nationwide. That's when you aggregate all the production centers and the amount of water they produce and what we distribute to the general public and collect revenue for. Then it means that we collect revenue for 41% of the water that we produce. If all these things, galamsey and wrong practices, wrong use of water or activities around the water bodies are kept, then we can conserve our water for future use. Other than that, we reach a point in time we will not have enough water to treat.
As part of World Water Day, the Ghana Water Limited took students on a tour of the Wager Dam to educate them on water treatment and conservation. For JoyNews, Collins Frimpon's report read to you.
Sand winning is an enemy to our production system. Here we don't have other activities like the gold mining taking place by the water bodies, but the sand winning is another form of a gold mining that we are looking at, and it's really affecting us. So we wish that the people stay away from the water bodies when they go for sand winning. And also remember that the more cleaner the water is, the more cheaper it is to produce, and then the more cheaper it is to be sold to the people. So if you are winning sand and the turbidity is high and we have to spend more chemicals, which are always imported anyway to this country to produce, then it means that the cost of production is going to go high. And if it does go high, we will have no choice but to pass it on to the customers.
Supply situation used to be very bad somewhere between January and February. But as we speak, it is now better. We had challenges in Isacho and its supply area. We had challenges with Befikrom and its supply area. But now, as we speak, we are now getting enough inflows into our reservoirs. So we are now producing, though in limited quantities, but at least everybody within the affected area is now benefiting. So I think it's quite better now. A month ago, we had issue with drought, severe drought and its effect on our water bodies in the region. And so Isacho dried up, the source dried up, Befikrom also dried up, Bremene Sikuma also dried up. But as we speak, we don't have much issues. Now we are receiving more rains in Eastern region. Most of these sources are coming from Eastern region. So the issue of indebtedness, the outstanding bills in respect of private connections or private customers is almost close to 70 million Ghana cedis. And we need this amount of money to buy chemicals, to pay electricity, to pay our staff. And if these monies are not being paid, then our operations will come to a halt at some point in time. So we want to plead with our customers to make full payment so that we can also serve them better. With respect to, which question again, the other one? Tape.
Well, that's the situation on the ground. And joining us for a conversation now, we have Stanley Martey. He is Director of Public Relations and Communications at the Ghana Water Company Limited. He joins the conversation. Mr. Martey, a very good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning. And thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure having you. Sweetie?
Yes, Mr. Martey, we've had varied reports of what's really causing the water production issues. Some say sand winning, illegal mining activities, indebtedness. But we want to start from, what is the state of water production in Ghana as we speak?
Hello, please, your question wasn't clear.
Right. I'm asking, as we speak, what is the status of water production in Ghana from the Ghana Water Limited? What is the status? What are the issues, or how are we faring in terms of water production in the country right now?
Okay, thank you very much. Water production now in Ghana is such that we are unable to meet the demand of the population. So if you put everything together throughout the country, there's a deficit between demand and supply. And that is why you see that in most of the urban areas, we are both put in place demand, water demand management program, what we call the RAN, so that at least we can share the water equitably for everyone to have access to some water. So throughout the country, average individual gets about between 4 and 5 days of water. And we are doing our best to ensure that situation on the impact not seriously felt. We also have long-term programs to ensure that we bridge that gap, the gap between the demand and supply. 24/7 to have access to water. And the gap vision or target.
Mr. Martey, if you're moving around, could you please pause at one place? We're getting some interference in your connection so that we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, I think I'm not in Accra, so the reception is not too good.
Right.
But so let's manage it.
Okay, and you mentioned that you're unable to meet the demand as we speak. What percentage are you producing at as we speak?
Throughout the country, I have to get a figure right, but there's a deficit of more than 150 million gallons of water. But we keep adding on, and then we keep having challenges. So as I speak, I may not have the exact figures, but in the next 15 minutes or so, I can get you the figures.
Okay, so a deficit of 115 million gallons of water. That's an average.
Approximately.
Right. Okay, so now we understand that we are unable to meet the demand. We know we've had a number of issues that's contributing to this deficit, but you are the Director of Public Relations. Tell us, what's really causing all this?
Yeah, please, I didn't get the question very well, please.
What's accounting for the deficits we are seeing?
Okay, one, we have infrastructural challenges. Most of our treatment plants are quite aged or quite old, and they were built for a certain population. Now the population has increased. So the other challenge is increase in population. So we have infrastructural challenges, and then we have increase in population, and then we have urbanization. And then we also have the challenge of the building and then the position of
you have the problem of what? What was the fourth point? I believe your third point was urbanization.
The dwindling levels of our water bodies.
Right.
Right now, most of the trees that we planted to keep shade to the rivers have all been cut off. We have farmers who are clearing the land for farming activity. And as a result, the rate of evaporation now is very high. Apart from the high evaporation rate, the rain, anytime there are rains or there are strong winds, they wash off the topsoil and then into the rivers, and then they silt to them. So siltation is also causing lower levels of our river body. Yeah. So these are the main challenges. If you want me to take them one by one, I'll explain them in detail.
Well, I mean, if it's not going to be too long, I'd like you to address them. There are at least 4 or 5 challenges you've mentioned, from infrastructure issues. Just delve into them one by one.
I think I explained infrastructure a bit.
Right.
Because most of our treatment plants are quite old. The pumps are quite old, and now they're not getting the best out of these pumps. As a company, we are trying to use our internally generated funds to change some of the pumps.
Right.
So that at least we can improve on the volumes of water that we produce for the people. Now, we all know that there's increase in population. In that, the treatment plant that I just mentioned were built for a certain population and to take care of us for a certain period.
Right.
Now we've gone past that period, and then we still have the same capacity from the treatment plant. Meanwhile, population is going high, so the water is not enough for the population. That is why we have a gap between demand and supply.
Right.
Now we all also are aware of the pollution of our river body, and the pollution is not only by alluvial mining or what we call the galamsey, but it's also as a result of the discharge of industrial effluent into our river body, and then the way we dump our waste, even from our homes. Now, every drainage ends up in a river body or in the sea. So, if, for instance, you assume that, I can just pour my garbage from my home into the drains in front of my house, anytime they are rained, it will wash them into a certain river or it will wash them into the sea. And then they pollute these river bodies. I've also talked about the fact that when there are strong winds and then...
Hello, Mr. Martey.
Not a good
It appears
here.
we've lost Mr. Martey there, but he was explaining some of the bits he had just mentioned there. He had categorized them from infrastructure issues to, talking about the population growth. I was going to ask him at a point, because I know some of these items they use or equipment have been there for decades. So how long has it been? What population was it meant to serve versus what? You can't expect that what was meant to serve maybe 10, 15, 20 million people is serving that. Mr. Martey, please go ahead. Hello, Mr. Martey.
Yeah.
It appears we're still struggling with the connection to Stanley Martey.
Hello?
Mr. Martey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Please go ahead. You were making a point.
I'm sorry for that for what we're experiencing now, because I'm out of Accra.
Right.
And anytime I'm in Accra, I think we can also have a program, and I do want to be in the studio to respond to some of these questions. But I think we can make use of the little time that we have.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I was talking about urbanization and then the cultivation of the buffer zones of our river body. Now, most of the trees that are supposed to give our river bodies cover have all been cut up by our farmers for farming activity. So now when it so happens, then we expose our river bodies to the weather. So the slightest increase in temperature, then the water in the river body is evaporated. And when there's evaporation, sometimes we lose a lot of the water. We may not appreciate it the way I'm saying, but that is not happening. We lose a lot of the water. And so during the dry season, or in certain times of the year, we are unable to extract enough for treatment. So I've mentioned pollution, I've mentioned urbanization, I've mentioned
the dwindling level of water bodies.
Exactly.
Right.
So these are the main challenges. Okay, and we are doing everything possible. We have short term, we have medium term, and we have long term solutions. Now with our short term solutions, we are trying to distribute the little water in the system equitably so that everybody can have access to some water. Medium term, we are trying to change some of our pumps, some of our equipment, rehabilitate some of our treatment plants with our own internally generated funds, and these are ongoing. With long-term solutions, government is trying to put up new infrastructure, and then to augment what we have now. So there's expansion programs. There's a new project also coming up. We hope that we'll be able to meet the 2030 deadline for the government vision and that of the SDG goals. Thank you.
Just a quick point. I know Adam Mutawakilo, I believe, has taken over the Ghana Water Company Limited. What moves have been brought to bear in this regard?
No, Honorable Adam Mutawakilo also comes on board with a lot of with some rich experience from the oil and gas and energy sector. And currently, we are doing a lot of engagement with our stakeholders. And then, so far, it's been very good. He's been moving around, checking everything. He's been moving around, and we're checking everything. We're engaging the public. We're engaging all stakeholders and staff and everything. And we hope that we believe that things will go well. And so let's all rest assured. He has a strong team. And we are all ready to support him and to ensure that things go well and better.
Mr. Martey, I'm sure all of you are going to support him. Like you've been there for a long time. But what I'm asking is, what are the concrete steps that will be taken to ensure that these challenges can be resolved? For example, when you talk about antiquated equipment, some of which has been there for decades, maybe it was meant to serve a particular population. Now the population has grown exponentially. How are you going to deal with that?
So that is the long-term solution that I mentioned from government. And because he's been a member of parliament before, and then he has very close relations with government, we believe that he's going to use his influence to enable us to get whatever we expect, or to enable us manage all the programs that we have to ensure that we have water for people. And so position is also strategic, and I hope that things will go well. It actually started working seriously, and we see that things will go very well. Thank you very much.
Okay, just a quick one before you leave.
Can we where I am now, I have to enter into...
I know, just a quick point.
Let's make it when I come back to Accra.
Mr. Martey.
So that I can have everything to... I can be in the right frame of mind and everything to...
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Martey. Thank you.
I also appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. That is Stanley Martey, Director of Public Relations and Communications at the Ghana Water Company Limited. What I wanted to sneak by him, sweetie, was that, sometimes they talk about all these challenges in somewhat abstract terms. I was going to pin him on how much the Ghana Water Company Limited thinks it needs, for example, to rehabilitate this equipment, and start the advocacy from here before even Adam Mutawakilu, gets on it. Because sometimes the people at the helm, but when the media starts going, then some action is, unfortunately. But we'll get him into the studio at some point.
I mean, on a never related matter, I wanted to know how much more money it's costing them to produce water now with that 115 million gallons of water deficit. So it means that it's costing them some more money to produce water, which is already at 70% deficit. But let's speak to Dr. Anthony Chumesi. He's a hydrologist and he joins us via phone. Doc, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. We're talking about water production issues, and we've just been told that currently the Ghana Water Limited is seeing a deficit of 115 million gallons of water deficit, rather. Have you been following the conversation, and what's your initial reaction to what we are seeing? He also enumerated on the challenges that's contributing to this deficit. But let's start with your initial reactions to these.
Thank you very much. As you indicated, my name is Dr. Anthony Chumesi, hydrologist and also environmental engineer. The issues I've been putting students even to do some research on Ghana Water Limited, especially on their production and other things. And I'm aware that they have a serious deficit because of the challenges that confront them. Apart from the ones that deal with the economy, I think most of them have also been environmental in nature. Because if you go to the two production dams, the Awabi and the Barricades in Komati, for example.
Mr. Chumesi, we are losing bits of what you're saying. Let's take it again.
What I'm saying is that, yes, as I introduced myself, my name is Dr. Anthony Chumesi, and hydrologist and environmental engineer. Yes, you're talking about production of water for Ghana Water Limited. And I'm saying that I have been putting students even there to look at the challenges that they face. I've done a few research on areas water production, and I think they have a huge challenge. I think you can discuss them as we go along.
Ben.
Well, what are some of those challenges that you see? At least we interacted with Stanley Martey a short while ago, who speaks for the Ghana Water Company Limited. He enumerated a number of challenges, including using antiquated or old systems of production or infrastructure, dwindling water bodies. He speaks about the surge in population, among others. When you look at these, what should we have done before now, and what can we do now to remedy the situation, looking at the deficit in production and demand?
As I can speak to you, especially, I live in Kumasi now, and I've been working with the two dams, Barikati Dam and Awabi Dam. I've followed the issues around those two dams. What we see is that there's a huge encroachment coming from the community. Those areas which were initially the catchment areas of all these dams have been encroached. All because the Ghana Water Company had not seen it as something that they can use education to surmount those challenges. They think that they have to just use a system where maybe they will confront this and other things. I see that a huge challenge. Apart from that also goes to say that the moment they are approaching those dams, it means that we are going to have drinking water because all the tributaries to the dams are getting dry up. So in a sense, they will not have a lot to produce. Apart from that, there are some sand winning around those areas. Some of them are also contributing to the huge deficit because they need a lot of money to produce the water because it has been polluted in a certain way. But if they were going to use a certain amount of chemicals to produce, now they need maybe 2 times or 4 times that amount. So all these are making the challenges become a lot more. And I also see it as also that currently, I think what we should do now, because I started something that I was going to do with USAID. What I was going to do was that we were going to look at those challenges that they confront the water company, especially with the community. We are going to mount a huge amount of education, talk to the communities so that they will not go and farm around the area. You find alternative livelihoods for them so that they will not go and pollute the water bodies. But unfortunately, things have not been done properly now. So what I say is that if we want to do something now, I think the government, or for that matter, Ghana Water Company, must embark on serious educational drive for the community so that, because that is the thing that they can do now. Because as for the cost of production, because the dams are being polluted, definitely we need a huge amount to make the production, and that's why it's dwindling. Apart from that, they also have to check their whole systems. You see, because when I have an MSc student who did some work for me, and he said that if you look at the revenue water, it's also becoming too high. So it means that in their own system, you need to amend the way they do things in the
Dr. Yumesi, we have reports from the Upper West Regional Manager of Ghana Water Limited, Michael Kwesi Kluche, and he says activities of sand winners or sand winning around the Black Volta is affecting the quality of water production and the cost, like you're just saying. How crucial is it, and should we be escalating this matter, making it a national issue? How crucial is it to the production of our water, and what are the immediate steps we can take to ensure that our water is not affected by the activities of sand winning?
That's what I'm saying, that we need to escalate it, because in the past it has been as if water company alone is having a challenge. But the challenge is for the whole of the country. If sand winners are interested in making their own money, just like the illegal mine, it's the same thing. There's nothing wrong from sand winning along the water bodies and illegal mine. It's the same thing. They're all winning. They want to make their money. So we need to escalate it. I don't think that if there's something that is from Ghana Water Limited alone. I think that we need to escalate it. And government and all CSOs must also be part of it, so that we drive issues to the national level, so that we all are able to help the Water Limited to be able to respond to the challenge. Otherwise, we see it as a whole challenge. It means that when we wake up and there's no water for us to drink, and that will be a challenge for the whole country. So, especially the media must promote this kind of engagement, so that government will address them as they come. Because you see, what happens in this country is that we leave it to go on, and then at a certain point when it goes to address, then it becomes difficult to address. Because if we leave them, they will definitely not just stop the sand winning. So we need to do it in a manner that, as they start to confront them. So
all right. Well, we will open the phone lines in a bit for you to have your say wherever you are listening to us in a bit. Let us know what the water situation is for you. But Doc, hold for Ben.
So, I mean, in the shortest possible terms, what should we be doing now? What essentially can government do in the short term to turn things around?
Well, I think that just like the government is confronting this illegal mining or whatever, the same way that the government is trying as much as possible to address those challenges, I think they must put the same weight on these issues. You see, we can even do the
It appears we've lost Dr. Chumesi on there. We'll try to get him back if possible. If not, I believe we can hang the conversation there. But quite a lot needed to be done by government and by all of us, actually. People encroaching on, the resources, the land of the Ghana Water Company Limited. Obviously, there's some misunderstanding there. Dr. Chumesi, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, please go ahead. Speak up for me, but please go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that some of the issues that confront the Ghana Water Limited should be seen as a national issue. And immediately what you all must do is that you must address them as we all want it to be addressed. First and foremost, the communities which surround these water bodies should do initial education, maybe from the point of the municipal assemblies or something. They should all be part of the engagement. Two, the Ghana Water Limited must also be seen as addressing the challenges in their own systems. What I'm saying is that when you see water being cashed out in communities and nobody is trying to address it, it means that you have more and you are just trying to throw them away. It is not. So they also look internally and solve that challenge. The third is that, you see, in fact, in Ghana now, what I can say is that there are limited number of hydrologists, people who understand water and what to do about them. And even you see that because currently, because of illegal mining, those who are within the regions are, in a sense, not aware enough because they can't go to the river body to do the normal monitoring. So what you should see is that government speed up the case, encourage people who are supposed to work because what is like if a hydrologist right living in those, you take daily measurements of the water bodies to know where it's going, the level that even the amount of which is in the system. I think no one is doing that because if you should continue to see it as not a then the problems may also be there. So it should be something like a national issue. It should not be seen as for Ghana Water Limited. And CSOs must also be seen to promote this particular idea of encouraging people because the water is not something that will be there forever. It's limited. If
right.
we don't, the mind is going to give us a problem. So that's what I'll say.
Dr. Anthony Chumesi is a hydrologist. Thank you, sir, for joining the conversation, helping us put this issue in perspective. And that's how we wrap up on this belt of conversation. Thank you, Doc.